Well, good evening again from the home address. It's 9 p.m. on the 13th of February 23. I've made myself a cup of tea. I don't often drink tea this late in the day, but because caffeine keeps you awake, but it's hot, it's strong, and I think after today I probably needed it. As I said previously, I was up at, I've travelled a considerable distance to visit up and down. And as I said already, she was much calmer today and less fraught than I expected her to be for some reason. I don't know why, but I expected some drama, but perhaps she's taken into account of just how, well, I'm not going to say cruel, because she's, I don't think she was being cruel. I just think she was being awkward. Anyway, I stopped off at Fellswester churchyard, which is very bizarre, but I was starting to wobble just. I don't mind admitting this because, as I say, I'm full of honesty. I don't see why people have to be dishonest or paint over anything. I pulled in at Fellswester and then I drove over to Buckenty Moor. I'm going to put Buckenty Moor together. It'll probably be the final chapter on the Up and Down saga anyway, and I'll bring it to an end and concentrate more on other avenues of interest if I'm going to put anything on my YouTube channel, but certainly I think that the emotion being so high today was simply a realisation finally that was it, and we wouldn't see each other again. One can live in hope and faith as I've done for centuries with her. But you can't live your life like that, hoping you bang into someone. Or so friends should be friends, and that should be the end of it. And friends fall out or have misunderstandings. They should talk about it and have even if it's a heated debate and to get clear the air, then fine. But you don't blank each other for decades at a time. And so yes, I did struggle today because I obviously I haven't been lying when I said I loved her. I put that in the past tense, didn't I? But knowing what I've gone through and knowing the roller coaster of emotions over the last few months, when I pulled in at Buckenty, I probably felt equally as sad as the day I was sitting opposite Crieff up in Amalree on the Glenquake Road when I was almost reduced to tears. I haven't cried any tears. I think that your mind and body become very strong about these matters, but I think the problem is that instead of coming out, it goes inwards. It's a very dangerous thing to bottle up one's emotions. So I made reference that I might just get myself along to the pub or something. But as I was sitting here on the same evening that I'd intended to maybe dart off to the pub and, order up lager and sitting, I thought, well, it's darts night in the local and there'll be some frivolous music, or probably low vibrational music being played and drumming in my ear, and I just couldn't be bothered with it all, and people chatting. Nothing wrong with people chatting, but they might be chatting to me, expecting me to be jolly, and I don't want to be jolly this evening. I'm taking stock of a very long, hard situation. And after being in Egypt and struggling with a very, very strange occurrence, which I still haven't mentioned and loaded, because I maybe refrain from doing so, it's so personal. But after an experience like that, I realised today that, well, despite being upset and sad and feeling emotionally fraught myself, and rather, as I say, a bit of an emotional shock, hence why I was trembling with the cold, it's my nervous system, I think it was starting to jitter away, but anyway, I pulled myself together and I got to Buckingham. I spoke at length with the camera, and anyway, I didn't go to the pub because, as I say, one learns that there's no answer in a bottle of alcohol. There never has been, although it took me a long time to realise it. And the sad thing is over the last, well, I haven't had a drink of alcohol since the 21st, is it, or the 20th of March, 2020. I believe that was the first night of the very first lockdown. It was a Friday, wasn't it? I'm sure it was the 20th, the 21st. Let me just check, please. March 2020. Yeah, sorry about that. It was the 20th of March, 2020. 2020. I'm having a sip of tea. Well, anyway, I've never had any alcohol since that time. I've never had any alcohol in this house. I was sitting over there. It wasn't that couch. It was an older couch than that one I had there. In fact, I'll just tell you about this previous couch before I got this one. I haven't had a drink here in this house since 2007 at Christmas, when I shared a bottle of port. Or was it 2 bottles of port? It was rather fun. But anyway, someone came to visit me, a lady at New Year, and I sat here where I'm sitting just now. Up and down sat in this couch many times. But anyway, the lady was sitting over there. I says, are you okay? And she says, yes. May I sleep here? I says, no. Get away. Like Up and Down would say, get away. And anyway, she eventually left, and I said, very peculiar way she was moving on the couch. Let me just check things. It was a dark blue couch. And I put my hand over here, and it was absolutely sodden. Yes, she'd pissed herself on my couch. I had to get rid of it. So hence why I got this, because I always wanted it. And I like it. Up and Down liked it as well. She did remark on it. But she didn't sit long on it. I do wish she had of that day. But my point about the alcohol is I've not had any alcohol in this house since 2007. And I haven't had a drink of alcohol in the pub since the 20th of March 2020 until last year, sometime in May. I was instructed by Up and Down to give her a call at noon the next day. It was a Sunday evening. She called me and she said, "Do call me at noon." I said, "I will, I promise you, I will." And being such a man of my word, I called her bang on noon, and her phone was switched off. Up and Down, why are you doing this? And again, it was one of those very stressful days that everything I turned to do was, everything just fell apart. And I said, "Oh, I've had absolutely enough of all of this. I'm going out. I'm going to the pub." Because I hadn't seen any of my friends since before lockdown. I'm going to have a jolly with them. I wasn't in the right frame of mind, of course, and I walked into the bar. And everybody was so pleased. "Oh, get him a drink, will you? Get him a gin." And I don't want a gin, I want a lager. I'm only in for one pint. I'm having a fraught day. Tell me a story, Andy. Anyway, it was very much a fun day, and everybody was so pleased to see me. It was very enjoyable. But I couldn't handle all this drink. I hadn't drank for so long, it started to affect me very rapidly. And I couldn't stand the volume of these large glasses of lager, so I agreed to go on these little gins, and very sweet, the gins with the bitter lemon, and drinking and drinking. Everybody started to go away. I was getting very drunk at the bar. It doesn't make much sense to anyone. And then the barman went away, and another lady was there. And then these girls came in, and they were standing around me, chatting to me. And I think what it was I went to cigarette. I hadn't even smoked any cigarettes until that time, and I'm not smoking. Because drinking and smoking go hand in hand, don't they? Now, I went for a cigarette, or I went to the toilet, or something of that nature. My mobile phone was on the bar. And Up and Down had warned me. She says to me, "Look, you need to get this phone locked up somewhere, or somebody's going to use it. You better be very careful." And anyway, when I was sitting at the bar, on the bar stool, nearly falling off it, I hadn't noticed, but a text had come through from me. And it's very remarkable. What's she talking about? What on earth is she on about? Anyway, I realised there was something. Anyway, one of the barmaids says to me, "She's been using your phone." "I do." And she says, "Hart, she's been using your phone." I said, "You said a horrible text to my friend Up and Down, you rotter." And there's a whole lot of commotion and shouting, and I got very, very upset because Up and Down was starting to text me loads and loads of things, and I said, "Oh, this is terrible, what's going on?" And I was all drunk. Anyway, the woman says to the girls, "Get out of here, you're using my friend's phone, get out, don't come back, get away." And the whole thing all went pear-shaped for me. I've seen her. I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't come in to cause any commotion." She says, "It's not your fault. They've been using your phone. You went for a cigarette." I said, "Oh dear, I'm so pleased you didn't steal my phone. People do put it in the bar, put it in your pocket or something, and you're drunk." I said, "I've been drinking for hours." And she said, "Get home, get your tea, Andrew." And I said, "Okay, I'll go away." But Up and Down's fallen out with me, and I've not done anything wrong. And anyway, I said, give me a taxi, please. I need to get a taxi. I'm pissed. And she said, well, are you going home? I said, yes, I'm going home. She said, I'll get a taxi. And there's no taxis at all. And she says, I can't get you a taxi. You have to walk and get a bus. Stuff it. I'm not going to get the bus at this time. I don't even know what time it was. Oh, yes. That's true. The darts. It was a Monday just like today. Because all the people coming in for the darts, and I was sitting there and it was absolutely outrageous because I was sitting crying my eyes out, texting up and down. And I was very tearful. People wonder what was going on. Anyway, I ended up in another bar. And the girl said, I've not seen you for so long, Andy. How are you doing? I said, I'm very upset. My friend up and down's not speaking to me. She's sending me all this stuff and I've been saying anything back. That's true. I couldn't fucking believe it. And then the only other time I had a drink after that probably was, well, I can't remember exact. Oh yes, it was after Up and Down told me she didn't want to see me anymore. And I went out. I didn't go to one pub, I went to the other. And I ended up falling out with somebody about television. About a television. Because I don't have a television. He says, go home and get a television. I said, I've got a television, I just don't want it played or I don't want it on. He said, well, we like the television. I said, well, I fucking hate it. And it was a bit of a rumpus about it all. And so anyway, I had to go away. And then I went in and, well, I fell out with the pizza man, didn't I? Because he phoned me later. He says, I better not tell you what he told me, but it was something to do with a dog. I said, charming. And I thought, why, God Almighty, why have all this happened to me? Why has it all happened? Anyway, the point of the story is that I've actually been out twice for a drink in, 2.3 years, and I've managed to follow up with Up and Down on one occasion. She did forgive me. She said she forgave me, but I have to tell you that any female will never forgive you if you've wronged them. I can assure you that. They will never, ever fully forgive you. And I have to say, why should they? I understand where they're coming from. And it's also like today, when I went down to see Up and Down, I mean, she made a very, very small remark about that size. But I thought, I'll just give her that one today, because then, why you don't have to always respond to someone. You can be silent sometimes, or you can agree with them. And then the day, I always think that members of the opposite sex, I'm talking female here, are always delighted to have the last word anyway. It's almost a privilege for them to have the last word, and I think, well, just let them have the last word, because that's what makes them happy. So I do agree with it. But I didn't agree with that the excuse for a female who used my phone and contacted my good friend Up and Down caused such a fuss between us. And then I carried it through because I was all drunk and wondered why Up and Down was responding the way that she was to me when it wasn't even my fault. Understand? But I'm so glad I didn't go out tonight, because I think I would have had my head in the bar, and that wouldn't have been good. I will miss Up and Down, though. I know that. she'll miss me. Goodness sake, she's going to miss me as well. She will. She's bound to. And if she doesn't, then, well, I said just a few days ago that I was at a precipice, and that's exactly what I'm at. Goodness sake, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and it should have been a time of romance between me and Up and Down, not a time of separation. But separation has been, so long now. But I've been there before and it's not going to be I don't know if we'll ever see each other again. I just don't think so. I really don't think we will. So I drink my tea. Cheers. I'm going to have a cigarette. I'm going to load up something on YouTube, and then maybe work on something else, and then wrap it up. It will all be wrapped up.